Hello, Hillsborough. It's Hilary here. There's so much going on in our neighborhoods year round: events, markets, beautification projects, community gardens, like you name it. In fact, there's so much happening in our neighborhoods that we wanted to jump on here for a bonus episode so we could talk to you about neighborhood relations. Because having good neighbors is a bonus in itself, right? The neighborhood relations folks, they truly help instill pride in every corner of the county. So I'm so excited for you to listen to this one.
Hello, Hillsborough.
Hillary,
Tyler.
do you like your neighbors?
I do. I really do. I love them. And they were so helpful.
Not that you would say otherwise on the
Yeah,
podcast.
no,
if you
of course.
know
Oh, no. For the record, I love my neighbors. They are my favorite people ever.
But no, so they listen to the show then.
Exactly. But no, they were so helpful during these past year with all the hurricanes.
It's
amazing. It was nice to have good neighbors during kind of crisis.
It's amazing how much of a difference that can make.
It can.
And it's not just knowing your neighbors, but like plugging yourself into the area around you. We always talk about local government or like getting involved in your community, but the community even exists on such a micro scale as the street you live on.
And boy, are we going to learn more about that during this podcast, because we talk with Stephanie from Neighborhood Relations, and she really brings us on a micro level of Hillsborough County to showcase what our neighborhoods are all about and how you can improve your neighborhood and how many people have such pride in their neighborhoods.
Yeah, so I don't consider myself the most informed person in my neighborhood, but I am looking forward to hearing what Stephanie has to tell us and learning more about how to do that.
Oh my gosh, same. Let's get to it.
Let's do it.
Hello, Hillsborough.
All right, Stephanie, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're really excited to talk about what neighborhood relations does. I think that's probably one of the sectors of our county here that maybe people have never heard of, but you guys are actually out there and they may have met you or been involved with you, but they just didn't know. So can you give us the quick pitch on what neighborhood relations is?
Absolutely. And thank you very much, Hilary, for having the opportunity to be a part of this. Neighborhood relations has been a part of the county for many, many years. And you're right, some people don't know. And this is great timing. The neighborhood office is put in place to help support neighborhoods throughout Hillsborough County. And that's important. Neighborhoods are the foundation. I like to say that neighborhoods really give Hillsborough County a flavor. That's the flavor of Hillsborough County. Everybody has its unique what they look like, where they are, whether it's a historic district, whether it's an HOA, a civic association. They all work a little differently, but it really is important. And it lays the foundation of a great, strong county. You need strong neighborhoods. So what I like to say when it comes to neighborhood relations this is what we do. This is what we provide. We provide information, education, contemplation, I'll get to that, and then also imagination. Okay, so that's what we try to do with neighborhoods. When it comes to information, we always encourage, we have a neighborhood roster. We want everyone to be a part of that roster. That's how we communicate with you. We do that through our neighborhood leaders, and we ask them to share information. So it may be a countywide effort. Hurricanes just passed, important messaging. So we like to support and make sure they're getting that information ahead of time. Also making sure that they understand that we've got a lot of projects going on. And guess what? We work with those teams that put those projects on. We want to make sure that those communities are aware of any type of meetings that are taking place, any opportunity to weigh in, whether it's to go in and look at a virtual engagement hub, so that they can comment and be a part of that. That's very important for our neighborhoods to be a part of what's happening here. On the education front, Neighborhoods Expo happens to be coming up. It is an annual event, but that's an opportunity. It's opening doors to Hillsborough County. Come and visit. We've got a lot of Hillsborough County vendors and exhibitors that come. It's an opportunity to learn about different programs and services, to ask questions. You may come with something specific in mind, and that's okay. If maybe they may not be able to take care of everything there, but you will definitely be put on the right track. Okay, and that's important. Contemplation. This is what I say. The roster is very important. We need to know that you're out there. Okay, so if you're contemplating And they need to know about us. Okay. We've got an ongoing effort to make sure that we're always trying to reach out and acquire new neighborhoods that's been tons of building around. Okay. And now we've got to try to capture those new neighborhoods and HOAs to say, hey, we're here and we want to know where you're at so that we can communicate with you. And then the last one we'd like to have fun with is imagination. And that's because with our many grants in our neighborhood awards program, we love to recognize what our neighborhoods are doing on the front of projects, what legacies are they leaving behind. That's important. So a lot of like our mini grant program and awards program, what we want to do is recognize neighborhoods are fostering healthy, safe, and engaged neighborhoods. We want to see that they're engaged. We want to see that they're healthy. And then also safe neighborhoods. A lot of people may put in a neighborhood watch program or do different things to make sure things are a little more safe for their neighborhoods. So I kind of like to capture it in those 4 words of information, education, contemplation, and then, of course, imagination.
And you've talked about the grant program. So what is that? I mean, if someone wants to apply for a grant, where do they go? And also, what are some projects that you've seen out there in neighborhoods where people have received a grant and it's just been so cool?
Well, we love our many grants. It gives a neighborhood an opportunity to get funded for up to $5,000. It's very competitive because there's only $75,000. So we look for, projects that do hit, healthy, safe, engage. How are you going to accomplish this? What's the legacy? We have an outside judging review committee on purpose. We really want to make sure we know what resonates, but we need a judging committee to tell us, hey, we think this is a great project. Okay. So we really put a lot in place for it. They've got some great projects. We just had a neighborhood a couple of years ago that decided to put in a playground for the young children in the neighborhood because the other playgrounds really had a lot of the big kids. And instead of people having to leave to go find a park, they had enough room and enough acreage to put in a little playground for the little kids so that, guess what? Now you don't have to leave. You can still stay here, walk up to the park, and not have to worry about, the bigger kids on the other
Right,
side.
it had like smaller equipment.
Yeah.
It was a little safer. And so they were able to apply for the grant.
Right. The application is fairly simple, but don't think that simple it's still competitive.
Right.
Because we do get a lot of people and it's becoming more and more popular. Listen, a lot of people, especially on the board, you've got operations, funding, collecting. Hey, we just had a bunch of hurricanes. Who knows what they've had to use that they didn't plan on using. So what a great opportunity to say, what is one of those things on the list that, God, we would love to have this, but we're just not there yet. How does that fit in? We had one neighborhood uncover their golf course went defunct. And so when they were walking around the golf course, they happened to find a hidden trail in the back, and they did like a mile of exercise equipment along the way. So that was fun. We had another neighborhood that had kind of like a little beach area outside where people would go to barbecue, whatever. They had enough room. They put a volleyball court in, to bring the community together.
Nice.
And it's used a lot. And it could be, listen, it doesn't have to be a big neighborhood. That's what's so wonderful. We understand that if you're smaller, you know what? A bench in a key place might be important to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So we do take a look at that.
So does it have to be the whole neighborhood agrees or can one person just submit it?
It has to be because we really want to make sure the community is in agreement and is part of this. So those grants, we work very closely with the presidents of those neighborhoods. So that has to be submitted. They have to prove that the board approved it.
Like a neighborhood association.
Right. Okay. A civic association or HOA. But yes, we need to make sure that this is something that was approved and agreed to, and everybody's kind of like on board. Now, listen, are you going to get 100%? No, but if it's approved,
It's a win.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's a win.
We're a growing county. I feel like there is a project happening everywhere you look, whether it's construction for a road, a building going up, and people see their neighborhoods changing.
Yeah.
The face of Hillsborough County is always changing. So you mentioned that folks can get involved in our public meetings and public engagements, and what those are opportunities for residents to understand what's happening in their neighborhood before maybe something actually happens. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Like how can people utilize neighborhood relations to help them understand those things more, those changes more?
Well, the key is to really know that they're out there. One of the areas in my group or my team is a sign team. So if you notice those really big signs out there telling you that there's an event or there's a project meeting, we put those signs up. And still, by the way, is the number one way people find out about things. So we're proud of that.
Your signs.
Yeah.
I love
signs.
that.
Yeah.
I've seen the signs.
I've seen them too.
Yeah. So we believe in it. But we also believe that it's very important to give everybody that opportunity to come and hear about a project, learn. And I always tell our team in Hillsborough County, you'd be amazed some of the information they know that we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've been through this. Okay. And so it goes both ways because they may have a question or may say, well, how's that going to happen? Did you know?
Because they live there.
Yeah. There was this over here. So learning from each other is very important because when we go in, okay, and we know a project is going on, depending on that project, most of the time we're pulling a mile out. Okay, we want everybody in that mile to understand. And then, of course, anybody that's driving by that may not live there, but we definitely want to hit that mile out location. And then depending on the project, Safe Route to Schools, we've been doing tons of work. Now, because that's a 2 mile, we go out that 2 mile, okay? Because it's important. They need to understand, hey, this project's coming your way, okay? That's going to make it safer and better for your children if they're having to walk, walking to school.
Well, this is a lot of information that we're going to need to peruse a little more carefully, as will some of the listeners, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. There has to be a place online where we can find all of this, right, Stephanie?
Absolutely. If you go to hcfl.gov/neighborhoods, visit our website. We have all the information there. And always don't ever hesitate to call us, area code 813-272-5860. We'd love to hear from you. Even if you're not a president, if you know who the president is, would like us to reach out to somebody, we'd be more than happy to do that to get you all more engaged. That's what's so important. We've got to keep our neighborhoods strong. We've got to show them support. Everybody goes through some tough times. And if we can be there and who knows, as things happen, what are some new things that we need to do? And we're open to suggestions. So give us, let us know.
You're there.
Yeah. Thanks so much for being here, Stephanie.
Oh, thank you for the time. I really do appreciate it.
Hello, Hillsborough.
Well, now I know what I'm going to be doing next week.
Oh, what's that?
I am going to apply for a grant.
Oh.
I have my idea. I want to plant flowers around the entrances to our neighborhood. I just think it will beautify the entrances that are kind of bland right now and make people happy.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And that sounds like exactly the kind of project that happens. And I'm glad she mentioned the expo. That's such a great event that they do. And depending on when you're listening to this, that may be coming up soon or may have just happened. But if you find yourself there, Hilary and I will be there.
We will. We'll have a booth there. Come say hi. We love meeting you.
Yep. Sounds like fun, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because we're all neighbors.
We are. We're
Yeah.
all neighbors. We all live in this beautiful little county.
Well, if you're like us and you find yourself needing to be a little bit more involved in your neighborhood, I hope you feel a little bit more informed now. I think I do.
I do.
I
I
think
always learn so much from our conversations.
I know it's so great, and I think a good place to start. Maybe just say hi to the next neighbor you see.
That is such a good idea, Tyler.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
That is so nice.
That's so nice of me. Since our show is called Hello Hillsborough, we don't say goodbye here. But what we do say is thank you so much for listening. However you spend your day, we really appreciate you taking the time to listen. So remember to click that subscribe button so you never miss a new episode.
And be sure to follow your favorite county on social media. We are at Hillsborough FL on all the platforms. And for more information on everything Hillsborough County, visit hcfl.gov. I'm Hilary.
And I'm Tyler.
Until next time.